What was early life like? Getting into, like what growing up and getting into sports, getting into doing ballet. Like what was that like?
It was busy.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a humble part of the city. In the favelas. I don't know if you've ever watched City of God on Netflix. No. So it's about that community, but I did have many opportunities to see different parts of. I think I've had both of the best world and the world on the other side of the sheet, and so I was able to just really grow, and my mom really kept me busy with soccer, of course. I'm
of course, Brazilian. In Brazil,
yes,
and Ronaldo.
Right.
I grew up knowing the original amazing Brazilian team, right, which was Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho.
I was born in 1990. Yes, Roberto Carlos with that crazy free kick that he took in the World Cup. I mean, they were the best in the world.
They were, and so I was a soccer player. Then I did judo, jiu-jitsu, capoeira, taekwondo, and then I was also swimming. I did music, DJing, graffiti, and so my parents were just trying to keep me busy. We were at a part of the city where it offered, it was dangerous.
Sure.
So it could have offered a lot of,
if they didn't keep you busy, you could be off running and doing other stuff, and stuff. I mean, you might have got killed or you could be in jail.
Yeah, so
really
it could
bad.
be definitely. So and my parents were working the whole time, and they also, I had to study a lot. My parents were always like, no, you got to read this book, you got to do this, you got to do that, and so I was a busy kid, and until one day, dance took over, and I started with ballroom dance at a local school, and then I did jazz, and then tap, and then they introduced me to ballet, and I have to tell you, I used to hate it. I don't know how it became a profession for me, but I used to really not enjoy just ballet, with the tights and etc. And I also, there's a lot of prejudice because in Brazil, you're a soccer player or you are a musician. And then you go into ballet, and I was the only guy in the ballet school. So I went through a lot of things, that led to my growth, of course, and then I joined a professional ballet school, and from there on. Yeah.
So how old were you when you made the transition to ballet?
Oh, I think I was 11.
Okay, so still quite young and still early on then.
Right.
But you've done you got into dancing obviously at a very young age.
Yes.
With ballroom and jazz and tap, and then getting into to the ballet stuff. Back home, I had two friends of mine who they studied at RAD in London, Royal Academy of Dance in London. They're now teaching ballet back home. So that's the only reason I know what the Royal Academy of Dance is. Yeah. Other than Billy Elliot, the movie.
Oh, yes, that movie is fantastic.
Thank you. I'm glad you've watched that, because I made that reference to somebody else the other day who had done ballet, and they were like, I've never seen it. And like, you've never seen Billy. Okay, now you need to go watch it right now. Especially for those listening, you need to go watch Billy Elliot. Amazing movie. Tom Holland in his early days, set in Newcastle. It's just a great movie, isn't it? Even if you're not a ballet fan, it's a great movie.
It is.
So you get into ballet at 11. You get picked up, right? And then you start going, you're still in school.
Yes, I'm still in school. Yeah. So school would go from 8 a.m. to 12, and then from 1 to 9 p.m. was ballet school.
Wow,
and so
that's
you
intense.
would be dancing for 8 hours nonstop.
Yeah.
And, it's so... I did not like it. I started liking it because, they used to take us on a trip, and so you would travel to different cities, different states, and then started traveling outside the country as well. Right. And so, and I would see my friends, getting the awards, so that's how you get excited. Right. Oh, you got a medal. Oh, you did this. Yeah. And then you're on this big stage in Brazil, you hear people clapping, and it builds up, all the excitement and things, and you start seeing things. But I think what really defined my career was that I was able to dream. I started dreaming about having a career. So that's when I started watching, Mikhail Baryshnikov or Rudolf Nureyev, and then Carlos Acosta, which was the first black male dancer to be a principal dancer with the Royal Ballet. Okay. And I had the opportunity to meet him. It was a dream come true. Yeah. And I set, and it's funny because I really set a goal that I would one day be in England.
Okay.
Yeah, and study in England. And that happened. You know, I was just coming back from Miami. My parents made the ultimate sacrifice to pay for that trip to Miami City Ballet in Florida. And from there on, I came back from Miami, and I wasn't really impressed.
Okay.
You know, I was impressed with Miami City Ballet, but I wasn't impressed with Miami because I thought, oh, this is Rio de Janeiro. But you know, more on the modern side.
Sure.
And I didn't get to see much either because I was underage. So it was just like, you know, I mean, the university,
you see a hotel, and wherever you're staying, and that's it, right?
Right, and that's it. And so I went back to Brazil. And English National Ballet went to Brazil, and they opened an audition.
Okay.
And, you know, my teacher didn't want me to go, but I did. And, you know, did the audition, and it took 6 hours for them to make a decision. I mean, we were dancing for all those 6 hours. And
like making it through the rounds.
Right.
Like, okay, you can go, and then you just get whittled down to the people that they want to take or offer a position back in the UK.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
And then they said...
That's intense.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
And then they said, hey, we would like to offer you a scholarship under the Nuria Foundation, and you would be 3 years with the school.
Yeah.
And you would also attend college, and so on and so on. And that was it, you know. And
that's so cool.
And funny enough, you know, we didn't have the funds, you know. We didn't have the money. And I told my parents, I said, look, let's pack. And we packed everything up. And I said, you know, by faith, I'm going to be in England. And I started performing, and, you know, I cried to people. Right. You know, I was just like, I was a young kid, and I was fearless with it. You know, I was just like, hey, no, I need help, I need support. And talking to people. And one day, I remember in Brazil, you can reserve the ticket before you fully pay for it.
Okay.
So I reserved on a Thursday, let's say. On a Sunday, they called. I didn't want to pick up the phone because I would have to cancel it. I didn't have the money for down payment.
Right.
And they called me to say, hey, so send me your email because you're traveling on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And someone paid for it.
Wow. That's amazing.
And
do you know who it was?
Yes.
Okay.
I found out 2 years after that one opportunity after I got to London. And, you know, I got off the phone and I said, Mom, we're done. See? Great. And I went to school and I said bye to everyone. And on a Wednesday, I was on the plane.